What's up guys, welcome to this super fun beach themed cake tutorial featuring a hand painted wave and a surfboard and palm tree made out of fondant. And then for the top of the cake, instead of going with a number 1, we're doing the letters to spell out 1. Let's get started. First, I'm going to start with some white gum paste, and I'm using a square cutter, and this ensures that they're all going to be the same size, and I just kind of cut off a piece of each one and laid them on top of each other just to make sure that they were all the same size. And then I'm using a razor blade and a couple of other tools just to cut out the letters into the correct shape. And I laid them on a piece of parchment paper, and I found this really great blue petal dust that I'm going to be using. Petal dust is an edible dust that you can dust on your decorations that you're going to eat. And you'll notice I put some toothpicks inside, and I just kind of stuck them in my edible glue and then stuck them in the letters. And this will just help them stand straight up on top of the cake after they're nice and dry. So I'm just brushing this on with a fluffy brush. And then after that, I'm going to move on to the wave. So this wave is actually from their actual invitation, and I really love doing this for cakes because it just makes the cake super custom. You're not going to find this design anywhere. So there's this exact wave. I printed it on the computer. It's just regular paper, and then I can put it on a piece of fondant. And then I'm using that petal dust, and I just mixed in some Everclear. You can also use like vodka or lemon extract. And then it just waters it down, and you can see how like some of it's darker and some of it's lighter. So in my paint palette, I just have some that has more of the Everclear and some that has less. The one that has more is going to be more like watered down. For the surfboard, I'm using a peachy color fondant, and I just use a surfboard cutter just to make it easy on myself. And I'm using the same color fondant for the letters because when I paint the letters, I'm only going to be painting the tops, and that way the sides of the letters are not going to be like a different color as the surfboard, so that it blends in really well. This surfboard was actually on the invitation as well, so I'm just trying to match it as best as I can. I'm using some of that darker blue, and that's from the petal dust, just to make some of those lines. And then on the surfboard, there was pastel green, blue, and yellow, so I'm just using those colors of PoppyPaint, and then you can see I add in some white PoppyPaint, and this just makes the colors more pastel. So you can see that there, and the PoppyPaint dries really quickly. I glue on the letters with my edible glue, and then you can see that darker blue here, the one from the petal dust. I'm just adding some of the details that I saw in the invitation, and this is how it looks. What's up guys? Sorry to interrupt your video, but I have something that's long overdue. I have my giveaway that I was supposed to do when I hit 5,000 subscribers, and I'm a little bit past that right now. So let's get into this giveaway. I wanted to give away some of the stuff that I use in my own cake decorating. I'm gonna start with the very best. I have some Fat Daddy-O's cake pans here. This is a 5-inch, 3-inch high, and a 4-inch, 3-inch high. These are my absolute favorite cake pans. I've tried almost all of them. Some of them are super flimsy and don't bake up well. But these actually bake up really, really well, and they come out of the pan really easily, so they're my favorite. I wanted to give you guys some cake pans, okay? So you guys know already what a regular offset spatula looks like. Well, this one's tapered. I kind of like this one better for fixing up little tiny imperfections on the cake and smoothing the top. Another one of my favorites, the Fat Daddy-O's rolling pin. Okay, so I know you guys are probably like, okay, all rolling pins are the same. No, they're not. Okay, this one has a flat end on the top and bottom, so you can stand it up straight, and this works great when you are paneling fondant on a cake. Fondant smoother, this is a must when you are decorating a cake with fondant, or anything that you're doing with fondant and you want to get out like some of those little imperfections, some of those little air bubbles, stuff like that. Use a fondant smoother. Silicone pastry bag. Sometimes you can use those disposable plastic ones, but this one's just reusable in case you want to, you know, save the planet. This can be used a couple of different ways. You can smooth the side of your cake. You can scrape your work surface. These are handy dandy. A fondant wheel cutter. Now, this one, I don't know if you guys can see, it's got a couple different wheels. You just pop those out and then switch this one. I have a mold here. Now this one is for like a chain. Unicorn cutter, because why not, okay? I ordered a bunch of these cute little necklaces. It's got like cupcake tray and measuring spoon. I think it's really adorable. So, but if you don't like it, you know, just give it away. Is that nice fondant? This is just like a little sample. It's pearl, so it's got like this nice shimmer to it. So just in case you have never used fondant and you really want to use fondant. So I'm giving you guys a sample so you can try it out. And I saved the best for last, okay? My edible glue. I'm giving you guys 2 whole ounces of my edible glue. Why? Because it's fantastic. All right, guys, that's it for the giveaway. Be sure to check the description below. I'm gonna put how you guys can enter to win. Good luck to everybody. I hope you guys like these products as much as I do. Stick around for the rest of the video and don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, guys, welcome back. Right now I'm moving on to the palm tree. I'm just measuring out how long that palm tree should be. It's just a brown piece of fondant rolled into a log. And then I use a flat tool just to make some of those lines. And then I'm using a leaf cutter for the palm tree leaves. And you can see I just made a line down the center of each one. And then I used a blade to cut out little pieces of the leaf just so that they can look, you know, tropical and stuff. However, these leaves were way too wide. Where that line is down the middle, I ended up cutting them all in half. You'll see why later. It was just, I think it would be too much weight on the cake. I think they would just slip and slide down. So I ended up cutting them in half and it worked out great. Right now I'm adding the final coat of white buttercream to this cake and I'm smoothing it out with the smooth cake comb from Ester Cakes. I'm adding that one to the top of the cake now, and everything is glued with my edible glue, which you can find on my website. So you can see there. Those are the leaves for the palm tree, and the half size actually works way better. So I'm happy that I ended up cutting those in half. After that, I made 3 little dots from the crashing wave that I had seen on the invitation, and I just glued it to the cake with my edible glue. They're super tiny, so I used these really small tweezers, and then I'm adding the surfboard and the 3 little birdies. And then for the top of the cake, I use a little bit of white buttercream and I smooth it with that offset spatula, and I add a little bit of brown sugar, and this just looks like sand. I'm adding that to the top. And then I go ahead and do the same thing for the bottom of the cake. I add on that white buttercream with a piping bag, and then I put the brown sugar with a spoon. It just makes it easier to handle, and it all sticks to that buttercream. And then I made the 3 little coconuts. Here's the invitation that matches so perfectly. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Stay tuned for more.